Welcome back to another episode of Studio Life. I was kind of done filming for the day, and then something dropped into my inbox from Pulsar, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to look at this. And I'm glad I did. It's the Pulsar IPA25. Let's find out. Is it? What is it about Pulsar plugins I like? I haven't bought them all. Some of them overlap too much for me, so I don't need them all. But I love the 8200, the GML model version they do. To me, it sounds really spot on, and it's got loads of extras, which I really like. What else do I use? I use the W495. I like that as a very simple but subtle EQ. It's quite good on the master bus. What else do I like? I like a lot of their stuff. They just generally make good stuff, Pulsar. So it's always cool when they bring out something new. And the IPA25, if you haven't guessed, it's kind of a well, it is kind of, not kind of, it is. It's a modelled API 2500 bus compressor. But in their usual style, they've gone the extra mile or two and given us some incredible metering, some really nice extra options. And the sound of it, I've got to tell you, it's up there. I've got a few different API 2500 emulations, and I would say all of them are good enough that I could genuinely say they sound like the hardware. The thing is with API 2500s, I love the hardware. I've used it for years. They all sound a bit different. Depends how old they are, how much they've been used, when they were made. They all sound different enough that all the plug-in emulations I've heard sound enough like one of them that they are legit. This, I believe, goes a step further. It's just instantly that sound. Don't have to dial it in right to make it sound like one. It just does. Yeah, sounds amazing. Let's dig in because they've done a really amazing job with the interface. As you can see, it's kind of, they've done their Pulsar thing. At the top right here, you've got a thing you can click, and it can change this from just seeing the controls, or seeing the controls and the metering, or seeing just the metering, which is pretty cool. I like the way they do that. I mean, I generally want to see all of it because it's nice, right? And it does help. You should use your ears, but it helps sometimes to see these things. So it's a really cool looking GUI, and it's functional. These meters aren't just meters. You can dig in there and do stuff on them, which is useful. The actual hardware bit of it looks very familiar, very similar layout, similar looking knobs to the API 2500. Anyway, let's go through it and see what these extra functions are, because they're cool. So obviously we've got the threshold, and we've got the ratio, and we've got the knee control, hard, mid and soft. Got the tack and release, and we've got a makeup control, and we've also got an auto button on that. And like the auto button on these things, it works sometimes, not always. You've then got a mix control. I love the mix control on the API 2500 plugin I use at the moment, which is the UAD one, because quite often I set it at 50% and then it goes through some hardware. I just love this for catching those initial transients though. We've got something interesting next. We've got a clipper / limiter. So you set your ceiling, goes up to +6, and as you dial it down, it will start to clip or limit depending how you've set it. It's also got a routing button, so you can put it pre-compressor, pre-mix or post-mix. That's really useful. Love that. Why not put it in the same thing? And you can see it on the meters. So the red is the compression and the blue is the clipper or the limiter. I really like it. Sounds great. Very useful for the jobs you're using this for. That's a nice addition to have. Down the bottom here in this little options panel, we've got this edit button which tells you what you're editing in the row above. So if it's set in stereo mode, left and right, you can edit the left channel or the right channel independently. There's not many times you do that, but you can. On the next thing over, you can flip it from stereo into mid-side. Now we're talking a mid-side API 2500. And in that case, when you go back to edit, you can choose whether you're editing mid or the side. I love that. Next along, we've got the mode. So you can flip it from feed forward to feed back. As everyone knows, feed back means the signal goes round, back inside it. Again, it can often sound more musical and a bit less unexpected, let's say, results in a feedback setting. Next up, you can choose from one of 3 VCA types. This is where we go, whoa, that's a good idea. That's where we put it into the next level up. So in the middle, strangely, we have IPA25. IPA2500. So it's going to sound very legit like the API. Above that, we have a Vari-Mu setting. You know, why not? That's a very cool thing to be able to flip into. And at the bottom, we have the end diode. So that's going to sound like a diode bridge compressor, much like the Neve. That's very cool. Just over from that, we have a drive control. And for each of those, you can drive more of that saturation. So the VCA is basically that mode is adding the color, and you can decide how much that color you want. I love that. That is great. Next up, we have the sidechain, pretty similar to the 2500. We've got norm, mid, or loud modes. There's no, what do they call it? I forget now. It's not knock, is it? It's, what's that mode on the API called? It's gone. Anyway, you haven't got it, but you can achieve the same thing. You've got normal, mid, and loud. You've got your percentage of the sidechain, and you can dial it up. You've then got the filter type. It does what you want it to do. If you want, you can go up to this top left bit over here, which is the sidechain EQ, and you can choose the source, internal, external. You can set a look ahead if you want, and you can put punch on. There you go. They call it punch. So that's the same as this button down here. Normal, mid, loud. It's giving it that. As a complete side note, I completely forgot to mention how flexible the sidechain EQ is. You can add, I think it's 4 nodes. There's all different kinds of filter shapes. You can really do a lot with the sidechain EQ. Well worth knowing, because it makes a big difference to how this plugin works. Anyway, back to the review. We then got a couple of old style sort of curved meters. I like that for the gain reduction. We then got the output. Obviously, the power button acts as a bypass. Really useful to have. You've got a bunch of presets up the top, and you can save it. And you've also got A and B for contrast and compare. What a lovely looking plugin, and as you'll tell from the demo at the end, it sounds as good as it looks. Yeah, I think Pulsar have nailed this. I didn't know they were working on it. I'm glad they've done it. It's one of those where I'm like, I don't really need another API bus compressor. I don't. I've got some really good ones. But now this has been thrown into the mix, I'm all confused. I'm like, it does instantly sound a tiny bit nicer to me. It's got more of that punch, which is really hard to do on a different kind of compressor. Anyone that's put an IPA2500 over their drum bus knows what I mean. It's got a sound to it. This one sounds to me as if it's got the bottom end. Often with a plugin, you'll find that they're 99% of the way there, and there's something that happens in the low end that isn't quite right when you compare it to the hardware. I think this does it right. Anyway, you'll see. Listen to the demo at the end, download a demo of your own. Talking of which, the demo is a full 14 days because it's Pulsar. Price-wise, the full price is €149, which I'm never a fan, as you know, as plugins over €100 or 100 quid or $100, whatever. However, I think that's pretty good for this. It's not just a regular compressor emulation. They're giving you 3 different VCAs. They're giving you a clipper and a limiter, and that metering is genuinely useful. I think this is a really detailed tool that you're going to use a lot. You'll be glad to know that because it's new, it's in the sale and it's €99. I just think that's winner all day. You just can't go wrong with it. If you've never heard an IPA2500, you've never used that style of compression before, I encourage you to go and download the demo and have a listen, because it's unique. It's just one of those tools I love to have in my palette. 9 times out of 10, there's one on my drum bus. Star rating. It's got to be 5 stars. I can't find fault with it. I honestly can't. It's got everything I want the IPA2500 emulation to have. It's got a clipper and a limiter. It's got a really cool choice of VCAs. It works in mid-side. The metering is really cool. I can't find anything about it I don't like. So yeah, 5 stars all the way. Well done, Pulsar. Lovely plugin. If you could like the video, that really helps. If you could subscribe to the channel, that helps even more. You can go and check out my Instagram, which is Mixdown Mastering, see what I get up to day in, day out in the studio. There's the website, Studio Life, where we've got the plugin top 5, and there's also details on courses on mixing and mastering and a whole bunch of other stuff too. Anyway, go and have a look. Listen to the demo. It's coming up. I'll see you next time. Adios, people.